Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are breaking down the problem number of paths with max score. As always, if you get confused at any point or have questions about the logic, just drop a comment down below and I will gladly answer it. Here is the problem page. It's a little bit dense with the text, so let me explain it a bit more clearly with some visuals. We are given a grid, and our goal is to navigate from the starting square marked S in the bottom right, all the way to the end square marked E in the top left. Along the way, we are strictly only allowed to move either straight up, straight left, or diagonally up and to the left. We also have to dodge any obstacles on the board, which are marked with an X. Now here is the tricky part. As we move, we collect the numbers on the squares we step on, and our primary goal is to get the absolutely highest total score possible. But they don't just want the score. We have to return a list with two things: that highest score, and exactly how many different paths actually achieve that specific score. Also, if the board is completely blocked by obstacles, and we can't even reach the end, we just return 0 for the score and 0 for the paths. Let's jump into the first approach, which uses dynamic programming. Because our moves only ever take us up or left, we are never going to loop back around and visit a square twice, which makes dynamic programming perfect here. For every single square on this board, we need our program to remember two separate pieces of information. We need to track the absolute maximum score to reach that specific spot from the start, and we need to track how many ways we can get that exact score. Since we know the start is always at the bottom right, it makes sense for our code to loop backwards, evaluating cells from the bottom right all the way up to the top left. When we are looking at a specific cell, how do we know the best way to get there? We just look back at the three neighbors we could have possibly stepped from to arrive here. Because we are moving up and left, the cells that lead into our current spot are the one directly below us, the one directly to our right, and the one diagonally below and right. So our logic is going to check the saved scores in those three predecessor cells and follow a few simple rules. Rule 1. If a neighbor is an obstacle or completely unreachable from the start, we just ignore it. We will use a score of -1 to flag dead ends like this. Rule 2. If one of those neighbors offers a strictly higher score than our current best, we completely replace our cell score with theirs, and we inherit their path count. Rule 3. This is the cool part. If a neighbor offers a score that exactly ties our current best, we just add their number of paths to our running total of paths for this cell. Once we have evaluated all three paths in, we just take that best score we found and add the actual number sitting on the square we are currently standing on. Alright. Let's look at the Python code provided in the Leetcode editorial. I'll break this down into smaller chunks. First, we create our 3D array. We fill it with -1 for the score, meaning unvisited, and 0 for the paths, except for the very starting square, which gets a score of 0 and 1 valid path. Then, we start 2 loops to iterate backwards through our grid, making sure to skip the starting square and ignore any squares that have an X obstacle. For every valid cell, we call a helper function 3 times to check the cell right below us, the one to the right, and the one diagonally bottom right. Inside that helper function, the first thing we do is bail out if the neighbor is off the edge of the board, or if its score is -1, which means it's an impossible path. If the neighbor's score is strictly higher than our current cell's best score, we overwrite our cell entirely, grabbing both their high score and their path count. But if the neighbor's score exactly matches our current best, we just take their path count and add it onto ours. Back in the main loop, if our current cell is actually reachable, we add its physical number to our total score. We convert the character to an integer by subtracting 48, which is the character code for 0. Finally, we return the target cell at row 0, column 0. We make sure to modulo the path count by 10 to the power of 9 plus 7. And if the score is still -1, we know it was blocked, so we return 0, 0. For time complexity, we have to visit every single square on the grid exactly once, making it big O of n squared, where n is the length of one side of the board. And for space, we build a state array that perfectly mirrors the grid size, so the space complexity is also big O of n squared. So what do we learn here? The biggest takeaway is that a dynamic programming state doesn't have to be just one number. Tracking multiple variables per cell is a super powerful pattern for these tiebreaker-style questions. That covers the Python logic. I'm going to show the Java, C++, and JavaScript translations next, but you can copy and paste all of these directly from leetcodeunlocked.com to save yourself some typing. Here is the full solution translated into Java. Next up, here is the C++ version. And finally, here is the solution translated into JavaScript. Just really quick before we finish, you might have noticed I recently changed the visual format of these videos to be much faster paced. Let me know what you think of this format in the comments, and don't forget to drop any questions you have about the problem there too. Also, you can probably tell this is narrated by AI. I build these tools to help myself study, and share them here with zero ads to help you too. If you want to check out problems outside of just the daily challenge, I have a secondary channel called Leetcode Unlocked where I am trying to upload a solution for every single problem on the platform. If these videos help you out, consider supporting the channel at buymeaboba.com/leetcodedaily. Please make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get your daily streak done early. Keep coding, and I'll see you tomorrow.